Hello, friends. My name is Michelle Petrek Wagner. I'm a somatically trained, licensed mental health counselor, a somatic experiencing practitioner, and a certified yoga therapist. I want to talk to you today about a common question I get asked by clients and, in general, other people when we talk about somatic work, and they'll ask me, how do I become more somatically oriented? Or how do I become more connected to my body? We hear this term mind-body connection. And what we end up doing with mind-body connection is becoming more rooted in our thoughts around that or our theory around that. And the reality about becoming more connected to our body is giving more space, giving more time to feeling and sensing our body. So it really comes down to sensation. So our body is having sensation 24 hours 7, and we are experiencing sensation at any given moment. But we glorify thinking. We glorify strategizing. We glorify planning in our culture. And so most of us are living from the neck up, really thinking about how to be a great human being, how to stay safe, how to pay the bills, how to do our purpose in life. And that's all coming from here. And so the reality is how do we become more somatically oriented, or how do we get that body-mind connection, is to spend more time in the sensations of our body. And I'll be honest, because we use our thinking mind so much, that for a lot of us, this is a foreign concept. And when we try to be more oriented towards sensation, we may not feel anything. It may be very dull in sensation. So I'm going to give you a couple of things that you can do, and with practice, you will gain more somatic vocabulary, more of a somatic library to be able to feel and sense your body. Now, why would you want to do this? Because the more you inhabit your body, the more fully we live, the more we feel more in control of where our life is headed and what our behaviors and our impulses are doing. We have more insight into what we're doing on any given day and any given moment. And most importantly, we have more choice and discernment when we don't operate from just this tiny portion of our human being, but we operate from the entire wholeness of who we are. Okay, so here is just a simple somatic practice to begin orienting towards sensation. So all you're going to do from a seated position, whether you're on your couch or in a chair or on the floor or a standing position, is to start to pay attention to one arm. And as you notice the arm, just notice if there's any sensation in your arm. And then what we're going to do, it might be very little sensation, might be a lot of sensation, but we're going to just give or infuse sensation into this arm. Okay? And we're going to do that by just squeezing. And as we squeeze this arm, we're going to do it gently and kindly. We do everything with a level of kindness when we're working with our body. Okay? And that squeeze, as we move up and down the arm, can also turn and shift to a tap. And you can do a tap with an open arm or with a gentle fist. Okay, so what we're doing is we're imprinting a pattern into whichever arm you started. There's a pattern being imprinted here, either through tapping or squeezing. And the last thing that you could also do is a rub. Okay, so any combination of these things, any one of these things is just fine. And once you've completed a good, I'd say 2 minutes of this or a minute, you're just going to pause and come back to your seated position. And notice the sensation in the arm that you just infused a pattern into. I bet it's different than the arm that hasn't gotten it yet. And here's where a somatic vocabulary will start to build, is for you to start to name what's there. You can just name it to yourself, or if you're alone, you can name it out loud. You could say tingling, buzzing, warmth, lightness, electricity. Okay? Those aren't words that you have to use. Those are words that I use to describe what's happening in my arm right now. And then we want to give the other arm a chance as well. So we're just going to switch it over and do the other side. I'll be rather quick about this, but I encourage you to take your time in experiencing this from arm to arm. Okay? And again, we could tap, we can rub, we can do a squeeze. Okay? And we want to get really all the angles of this arm all the way down to our fingers. Okay? And then we go back to just waiting and sensing what are the physical sensations that are happening in this arm. Maybe you feel it in one place over another. I particularly feel it in my elbow at this moment. So it's about spending time paying attention to sensation in your body that's going to move you from overthinking, over-strategizing, and a lot of thought into experiencing what's happening in the present moment in your body. Now, we did arm and arm, and I would encourage that you take this practice over into leg and leg as well. You could start with legs and then move to arms. You could start with arms, move to legs. Doesn't matter. There's no specific pattern that has to happen. Just be curious. Curious about sensation that's happening in the present moment. And this is, again, sensation that you're imprinting with a little bit of touch and rhythm so that you can get used to what it means to listen to your body. I hope this was helpful today. Practice it, see where it takes you, and over time, you will learn to be more in your body and less in your mind, and eventually you'll find a nice balance between the two. Thanks for being with me today.